Going live. We're live, guys. Thank you so much for waiting. I'm happy to be here. Again, YouTube was giving me some issues with the technical details, I guess. So I'm sorry about that, but let's get straight into it, okay? I hope people will join in from the other live stream because everybody was there and I was so happy that everybody was there talking to one another. So I will give a few of you some time to join in and then we can get started. Okay, I can already see someone dropped in. Hi guys, let me just open the chat. Welcome here. I hope you're all having a beautiful Sunday evening today, and we can get started. Okay, I hope the sound is working now because it didn't previously. I don't know what's up with the technical issues with YouTube lately. I might look for a different platform to stream on. Anyways, the topic of today's live stream was feeling lonely. Okay, it works. Awesome. Thank you so much, Visually. I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for joining. It's very like discouraging if I plan everything beforehand and then the platform is not really doing what it's supposed to do. But we got to work with what we have, right? So I feel grateful that you're here, brother. How have you been? How was your week? I hope that you had a great time and that you enjoyed your weekend. Here in Budapest, it was lovely weather all weekend, so we had a great time spending some time in the sun. I went for a walk with my friend near the Danube. It's very beautiful here. And I'm actually flying back to Belgium, excuse me, tomorrow. So this is my last night here in Budapest. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me to share a little bit about my experiences here and what you guys can expect from me moving forward. All right. So today's topic was feeling lonely, addiction, and melancholy. I talked to one of my friends at the gym, and he asked me this question: what if I could talk a little bit about the feelings of loneliness, for example, after you lose a loved one or after you break up with someone, you can fall into this, how would I say, like emptiness where you feel very, very lonely and you don't really know what to do with yourself, or you feel this emptiness inside, right? And it's perfectly normal that you feel like that, okay? Because especially if you grew very intimate with someone, you grow, like you intertwine, the brains start to intertwine and you form connections in your brain that are connected to this person, okay? So your body gets used to this other person in a way, especially when you spend a lot of time, when you create a lot of memories. So there is a physiological component to this relationship that you're building, okay? There's an emotional component. You are engaging in a lot of activities together that you know that you now no longer can engage in together, okay? You have to learn to enjoy them by yourself, which is a skill. It requires practice. You need to allow yourself to really detach from this person. You need to allow yourself to really get used to being by yourself again, okay? I'll give you an example. If you are used to sleeping alone and then you start sleeping with someone together in one bed, initially it can be quite difficult to sleep, okay? But after a while you get very used to it, and so then after a while it becomes difficult to sleep alone in the bed, right? So you can see how quickly we as humans, we adapt to another human being together with us for a long time, or regularly, okay? So it's perfectly normal and okay that you feel this emptiness afterwards. So it's a matter of time. It's a matter of creating a lot of new memories by yourself or with other people that you love. So it's no longer only with this person that you like, with your ex-partner, with your loved one that left or that even passed away maybe. You can no longer do these activities with them, okay? So it's important that you make new memories with other people and yourself, so the time kind of erodes over time, and that will cause this sense of loneliness to disappear. Of course, you also want to work on, loving to spend time with yourself. It's a cliche thing to say, but would you take yourself out on a date? Would you enjoy spending time with yourself? And if that's not the case, then work on that, okay? Hi Marina, hi Evelyn, hi everyone. Luckily you found us, luckily you're here. Thank you so much for joining the other live stream. I had to restart everything and reschedule it a little bit, and it takes some time, unfortunately. especially because my computer is very, very slow. So I will soon try to invest in a new one, and hopefully the technical issues will not be a problem anymore. Hello everyone again. Hi Marina. Thank you so much for joining. I'm very happy that you guys are here. I was looking so much forward to tonight's live stream, as I do every week, and I feel incredibly grateful, like always, that everyone is here spending time together and sharing energy, and having just a lovely chat on a Sunday night. I think it's a lovely activity to engage in on a Sunday night, right? Especially when I will go home. We have this fireplace at our home. We have cats, we have dogs. It's going to be very homey and very cozy. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I can show you guys the fireplace maybe, and we can create a lovely space together every Sunday night if I am there at my parents' house. Now, Marina, did you have a good weekend? It's lovely that you guys are asking about each other's weekends. How was your weekend, guys? Please feel free to share it in the chat. I would love to know about how your weekend went. Like I said earlier, mine went great. It was lovely weather here in Budapest, and I went with a friend for a long walk near the Danube. He's a fantastic guy. He is a martial arts teacher, so he's very wise, very intelligent person, and I very much love spending time with him. So I feel really grateful that I have such great friends, and I feel really grateful that I have such great people here in the live chat and on the channel too. I love you guys commenting on all my videos. It's fantastic. Like every time I upload a video, I'm like, oh, so many people commented. I feel so good when you guys do that. So please continue doing what you're doing. It encourages me to create more. It encourages me to share my stories and my voice more, and to help you guys with whatever you're currently dealing with. Okay, that's ultimately what I want to do with this channel, and it's coming along very nicely. I'm really, getting a very clear picture of where I'm heading with this, what I'm doing, how I want to build this into a stronger online community. I'm talking to a few people online. I'm having a call actually on Tuesday with 4 other guys who want to do something similar like me. So we're keeping each other accountable. And that's really cool, actually, right? If you find people who are on the same mission and who want to support each other, that's what I believe in. I'm not a competitive person. I'm not. I'm more like a collaborative person. So I really enjoy sharing ideas, sharing energy, sharing support, encouragement. And I don't like competition. I don't like the fighting. That's exactly why I decided to quit my previous job, because it was a SEO related job where you optimize your website to become #1 in Google, but you always have to fight for the #1 position. So it's extremely competitive, and it really wasn't my type of work. So that's why I decided to quit that job and follow my inner guidance system and my intuition in a way also, which I very much believe in. And I would like to talk even more on this channel about intuition, because I think it's a very powerful tool that is a little bit underrated nowadays. People feel like it's not really valuable, and I want to make it cool again in a way. Like I want to make intuition cool, because I believe it's extremely cool. All right. So yes, I hope you guys are doing well. Make a video about feeling lonely. I will make a video about feeling lonely. Obama S, thank you so much for recommending that. I will make a video about that. I think it's a great topic that a lot of people nowadays struggle with, especially in today's day and age with the quarantine and the pandemic, etc. People feel very lonely, even though we are connected more than ever through social media. The feelings of loneliness are, very, very strong, because we need real human connection, right? And the superficial interactions on social media are really not meeting that need, in my opinion. That's also why I got off of social media, because I spend more time interacting with people in real time, in real life, and it's so much more fulfilling. So I will definitely record a video about that. That's a great tip. Hi Wolf, hello everyone. It does not matter. Hi Marina, did you have a good weekend? I always find time for you and Yuri. Oh, that's so sweet, Marina. Thank you so much. I'm very happy that you enjoy our content, and I think that Yuri also very much appreciates you watching his, and I absolutely do for sure. So I also want to thank you for all your lovely comments on the videos that I create. So thank you so much for that. Make a video about feeling lonely. By the way, Yuri gives you a blessings. I give Yuri also lots of blessings. He's a fantastic friend, and he has always supported here he has supported my journey and I have supported his journey. And it was lovely to work together also. It was super cool. When I go back to Belgium, actually let me do another collaboration together with him. That's cool. Yeah, let's do that. I go back to Belgium, so we'll record another reaction video together. That's going to be a lot of fun. My weekend was autumnal. Lol, rain, grayness, and strolling, cocooning mode, gloves, hat, etc. Well, it sounds lovely, like spending time in autumn, being all, packed into warm clothes, enjoying the beautiful colors outside. It can be very nice. I love autumn. It's very beautiful season. The trees, the red, the yellow, the orange, the squirrels in the trees and everything. I love it. It's very, very beautiful. So it can be very fun. When it's gray and cold, maybe a little bit less, but still you can enjoy your time spent in nature, I think. Okay, Evelyn, yes, dear, I did. How's it doing? Nice to see you. That's right. It's time to shift our thinking from competition to cooperation. I very much do believe that, Wesley, and I really appreciated your input also on my videos and on the ones that I posted in the Facebook group. I love when you guys share ideas, right? Because that's ultimately what will make this channel into the best channel. It's everybody building it together, cooperating, and not competing, right? We're all here in a spirit of cooperation. And I very much like that, everybody is very friendly to one another, very respectful. And that is precisely what I want my community to look like. That is the community I want to create. So it's wonderful to see that it's already happening, right? That is making me feel so happy, so grateful, right? Because it's amazing that this is possible nowadays. When you put out your messages, people find them. You guys find my message, and you join in, and then you find other people who are also attracted to that message, and that creates a very strong sense of camaraderie and shared values. And I think that's absolutely incredible. So if we can scale this platform, if you can reach even more people, then you will be able to make even more friends. This freaking amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing. I was talking to my friend about this today, actually, that imagine if we could create a platform where people come together, cooperating, sharing stories, sharing struggles, sharing respect and kindness and energy, and people come together in real life in-person events. Okay, that's the goal I have. I want to create in-person events where people can, I want to organize a retreat where everybody can come and we can just all have fun together. That sounds like the most amazing thing to me. Okay, people meet each other, and let's imagine, two people meet each other at the community that we created, or at the retreat, or wherever we join forces. Okay, and these people, they live in the same city and they didn't know that, and then they become best friends for the rest of their lives. That is infinite value. Okay, if you can create a friendship for life by bringing people together who align their values, that's just infinite value. There is nothing more valuable than that, in my opinion. If you can find a person that is with you for until you die, that's just incredible. So if I would be the seed for that relationship to form, that would be one of the biggest successes that I ever accomplished in my life. So that is a big dream of mine, to be able to create that for others, right? So I hope that made sense. Hey man, keep up the good videos, they're helpful. Thank you so much, Captain Cheesy. I'm happy that you're here, brother. It's so cool that you're still checking my content. I haven't seen you comment for a while now, so I thought maybe you were busy doing other things, but I feel super grateful that you're here tonight, and that you're saying hello in the chat. That's lovely, man. I'm very happy that you're here. Thank you so much for your comments. Rajali, hi guys, good idea. Oh yes, it would be a great retreat together. Angela, dear, thanks so much. Always glad to see you. Yes, so it's something that I want to work towards. Like, it would be amazing to organize something like that, where everybody can just come together. We can be in nature. We can talk about things. We can discover new music. We can listen to music. We can appreciate the beauty that's all around us. We can share stories. We can share experiences. I think that would be an amazing experience. So that is what I'm working towards with the channel as well. So it's so lovely that everybody's just so excited and saying hello to everyone. I absolutely love it. So thank you guys for this warm camaraderie and this cooperative feeling. I love to see it. I love to see it. I really love to see it. Okay, so I will go on to the next topic, maybe, that I announced in the title, which is addiction. And addiction is something that I struggle with a lot in my life. I sometimes still struggle with addiction in my life. And I think that a lot of people have addictive tendencies. It can be substances, it can be behaviors, it can be people. Okay. I honestly believe that, for example, relationships can be extremely addictive, right? You can get addicted to a person, you can get addicted to a certain behavior. And addictions are a way I find to try to maintain control. Okay, you get attached to a substance or behavior, person, whatever it may be, and this is a way to kind of like hold on to to not have to let go, fully let go. And it's letting go is something that has always been a big problem in my life, or a big challenge, I would say. Not necessarily a big problem, but a big challenge. And that's, I believe, why I also feel so attracted to addictions, because it's a way to hold on to something, daily, even sometimes. And that causes you to stay stuck in a way. It really causes you to stay stuck. And I've experienced this many times in my life, that I felt like addiction was really holding me back to grow. Okay, it pulls you down, it keeps you stuck, and your personal development suffers from that. And it distracts you. It takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of mental resources, money, even sometimes time. So, overcoming addiction is a tough challenge, because it involves courage. It involves the willingness to go through some form of withdrawal period. Okay, your life will suck more before it will start to improve. Okay, the withdrawal is not fun. Okay, it's really not. You have to get used to a lot less, like, instant gratification pleasure, because usually addictions are attached to instant gratification behaviors, right? A person, food, drugs, whatever it may be, that you have problems with not using, not consuming. It can also be, adult content, for example. A lot of guys nowadays, they're addicted to watching adult content. It's a big thing. And people really suffer from that. And I've been doing a lot of research about this topic lately. I listen to a lot of podcasts. The Huberman Lab is a fantastic podcast about dopamine, and how dopamine is actually, sustaining addictive behaviors, the reward systems in the brain, how the neurobiology works, which parts of the brain are activated when you're engaging in high dopamine behaviors, or activities. And so the main takeaway is that you definitely need a phase where you reduce the stimulation, where you reduce the use of whatever you're addicted to, even preferably completely remove it. Okay, and the magical number here, what they talk about, is 30 days. However, some people never really get out of this hypervigilant state, where they always need to be wary of the behaviors that they engage in. Okay, whenever they find themselves in a stressful situation. Or some people, they actually relapse when their life is going great. And the reason is, so you have somebody who has been struggling with an addiction. They're able to quit their addiction. Their life seems to go upwards, and then all of a sudden they have this great breakthrough, or they become successful, or they marry, or with some life event that is extremely, that's making them feel really good. And that's the moment usually when a lot of people relapse again. Why? Because it's again this dopamine circuit that gets triggered. Okay, and they get again this sense of this pleasure that they want to keep chasing against. And that's why a lot of people relapse when their life is going great. And that's such a sad, because you kind of like forget about the your vulnerability to addiction. You forget about it in a way, and you want to celebrate more. And that's when you relapse. That's so sad, because their life was going great, and then all of a sudden they find themselves back where they used to be, right? So it's the kind of analogy that was mentioned in the podcast episode that I recently listened to, was that, okay, let's imagine you have an itch. Okay, it's itching on your, I don't know, on your arm, right? You can focus on not scratching that itch. You can focus on that for a long time, but if it won't go away, it requires a lot of attention, a lot of focused attention to not scratch it. But sometimes you will scratch it maybe in your sleep. Okay, that's exactly what it's like if you're a serious addict, that if you lose your focus, then you can fall back into wanting to scratch that edge without even consciously being aware of it. And that is something that can help you empathize with people who are struggling with addiction, for example, because it's really not about, oh, I want just the pleasure, I just want to, chase the highs. It's really not about that. It's more like, I want to relieve the pain. Usually addicts use their substances or their behaviors or the people to avoid the pain, and that's exactly what I used to do. Okay, I was addicted to not eating, for example, when I was in my anorectic phase, and that was an addiction to help me not feel the emotional pain that I was going through at that time. All right, and then, for example, in relationships, I could get very addicted to my partner because it helped me not deal with the sadness that I felt or the melancholy, because I'm overall quite a melancholic person, I would say. I feel sad most of the time. I have a heavy, kind of like heavy personality, especially when I'm alone. Okay, when I'm talking to you guys, I feel great. I feel extremely happy and, excited to share with you guys and to see you talk in the comments and to share ideas. I feel happy when I do that. Okay, but when I'm alone, you guys don't see me 24/7, obviously. And I don't think you would want that, because I'm actually really sad most of the time, or I'm really heavy or melancholic. And it used to be something that I struggled with a lot, because I always felt like, who likes spending time with such a sad person? People don't necessarily enjoy that. They want to stay away from that. But on the other hand, I think that there can be a lot of beauty in that melancholy. There can be a lot of depth. All right, a lot of great artists used to be very melancholic personalities, right? The romance era, where romantic painters, I cannot think of anyone by name, but these people, they were usually very melancholic, but they created beautiful art through that sadness, through that melancholic state, and they were able to pay attention to little details that other people who are more elated or more excited miss out on, maybe, right? So there is pros and cons to being or feeling melancholic a lot of the time. It's also perfectly normal. Okay, that is something that I try to tell myself. It's fine. This is part of your personality, and even though I believe that you do have a choice, you can change parts of your personality, you can change your mindset. I'm big on changing your mindset, because I've gone through a lot of transformations, like real transformations, where my mindset completely shifted. And yet I also find myself going back to certain states, or habits that I have, mental habits maybe. So it requires my full attention to maintain a different mindset, and you have to maintain it for a long enough period for your brain to rewire itself to really lock in that mindset, right? But if you don't stay focused, if you let yourself go a little bit, okay, you can slip back into old patterns. And that is what happens to me sometimes. Okay, the past few weeks I was not feeling well, to be honest. I felt very heavy. My mood was very down, very sad. And of course, when I create a video, I try to bring my best self. But outside of that, I had a hard time feeling joy or feeling pleasure or having fun. And it's important to have fun in life. I think it's really important, and finding the right people that you can have fun with is a crucial part of that, because you can have fun on your own, but it's so much more fun when you can share with other people, right? So I think that finding the right people to spend time with, and a lot of time with, not like all the time, but enough time to lift your mood, to lift your spirits, is very, very important if you want to maintain a sense of well-being. And that's also why I would like to create this community, right? If I can find groups of people in different cities, they can have great time together, spend time, tell jokes, share love and kindness and compassion, and that is going to lift everyone's mood, right? The rising tides lift our ships. And that is something that I would love to create in this world, because I think that the world needs more of that. And that's what I'm working towards. So I feel super excited about that journey in a way. So let me read some of the comments. Hi, Captain Cheesy. So nice of you. Marina. Yes, heartbreak is something hard to get over. It is very hard to get over indeed. Charda Flow to you. Wow, that's a great name. Oh, Angela, dear, you are my friend too. Thanks for your kind words. I have known sadness or yes many times because I was frustrated and impatient. Now I feel happiness and joy now in every moment. Sadness is poison, but it costs a lot of power from your life. Or okay, so I would like to comment a little bit on what Evelyn said. Um, I don't necessarily think that sadness is poison if you know how to dose it, if you know how to become aware of it. I believe that there's a lot of beauty in sadness in a way. But if you let it overpower your life, if you let it color everything you do, then indeed it can be poison because it makes everything look grim and gray and dark, right? So allowing the sadness to be there, not judging it, validating it, because a lot of people, they reject their sadness, and I think that's a problem. It's absolutely normal to feel sad sometimes, or even a lot of the time, especially when you're going through a stage of grief, when you lose someone you love, when a breakup happens, when you lose a job, whatever, or a pet. Okay, all these things, they can cause grief to occur, and the sadness is important to feel, because if you don't allow the sadness to be there, it will express itself in other ways, and they can, it can manifest in different ways, that's not necessarily the best way to do that. So I think it's really important to allow the sadness to be there, but to not wallow in it, to not let it overpower your life, because if you allow it to do that, your days will look very grim, and that's something that I sometimes really struggle with. I allow the sadness to overtake my mind too much, and then everything looks gray and dark, and that's not a good place to be in. So I have to stay aware, and the way I do that is by journaling about the things that I'm grateful for. For example, I talk a lot about gratitude on this channel because I think it's a powerful tool, powerful tool whenever you get sucked into a negative cycle. Okay, remind yourself of what's good in your life, guys. There's so much to feel grateful for. Like, this moment is a beautiful moment. I feel grateful for this moment. Everyone is here. We are sharing each other's energy, and that's something to feel extremely grateful for, right? You can become aware of things in the present moment, or you can become aware of things you have, or become aware of things you might lose. Okay, something that I almost daily thank the universe for is my health. Okay, if you don't have health, you have nothing. If you're struggling with your health, if you're deteriorating and you're sick, that is terrible. Then the only thing you can think of is, I wish I was healthy again. But you forget about what it's like to feel sick when you're healthy. So if you remind yourself of having good health, that can make you feel so good about yourself, because it's absolutely not something that should be taken for granted, because health is, the core of you feeling good, right? And it's important you take care of your health. And I think it's equally as important to be aware that you are healthy and to be grateful for that, because you can tap into such a vast source of energy if you do that. Okay, you can even feel grateful for your sight, or for your hands, or for your arms, or for your speech, or for your smell. Okay, because there's people who are blind, there's people who can hear, there's people who don't have limbs. All right, and it sounds silly maybe to think about it, but there's always something that you can tap into gratitude for, always, every single day. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit. Okay, if I do it daily in the morning, 3 things, then I go for a walk in the afternoon. I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful for the sunshine. I'm so grateful for this beautiful tree that I just saw. I'm so grateful for my friends. I'm so grateful for you guys being here, right? There is so much stuff to be grateful for. So if you feel like you're sliding into, self-pity, or you feel lonely, or you feel, because a feeling of loneliness, this is something that I read that really resonated with me, is because you are comparing yourself socially in a way, because you can be alone, you can walk around alone in the city, but the feeling of loneliness is because you feel like you're not connected and other people maybe are. Okay, you feel like you don't necessarily belong, but you can be alone and feel like you belong a lot. Maybe you just had like a lovely talk with a family member or something, and you really connected, and after that you're going home walking alone. Okay, you're not lonely at that time. But it could be that you felt disconnected with this person, or you had a fight or a conflict, and then you walk alone, and then you feel extremely lonely. The same kind of like objective the same objective situation. You saw each other, and then you walk home alone. Okay, but the charge of the situation is totally different, and that causes either feeling of loneliness or a feeling of belonging, right? So it's really important to be aware of that. And if you feel lonely, tap into what you have, tap into gratitude. Even if you feel lonely, I am sure there's at least one person that cares for you, that you care about, and you can tap into that, thinking about this person. It will make you feel a lot less lonely, because the loneliness is really a feeling of disconnectedness. It's a feeling of lack. It's a feeling of not belonging. And if you can think of a person that you feel connected to, that you feel grateful for, you can really shift your perspective, and it can really help you remove this feeling of loneliness. It does that for me when I tune into all the great people in my life, my friends. I feel so much less lonely. Sometimes even I can completely get rid of that feeling, because I'm aware that, wow, there's so many incredible people in my life, and that makes me feel so much less lonely. So maybe that's something you could try whenever you feel lonely. But I will record a video on that and upload it here on the channel. But it is a cost of power from your life. Or Angela, yes, it is in a way, especially if I let myself slide, then it's really draining my energy, and I need to stay aware of that, because it's almost like a habit. It's an automatic thing that happens, and it's really something I need to stay on top of my game. It's my dad. He told me this, like, he wakes up, and he can wake up with a heavy mood, and then he wakes up and he tells himself, no, not today. And then he decides to not be sad or to not be heavy. And you can make that choice, you can make that decision, but you need to be aware, you need to stay aware. So that's why meditation is also really important, right? I meditate almost every day for at least 15 minutes, and I tune into this feeling. I allow it to be there. I accept that, okay, maybe today I don't feel very elated or very excited or very happy. That's fine. Okay, accept and validate the feeling, because if you resist it, it's going to persist. But then you can make a decision to look for the good, to look for the positive things, to make stuff happen, to write down a goal that you want to achieve. Even if it's something small, you can get up and do it, right? Because a sense of accomplishment every day is very important if you want to gain self-confidence, if you want to feel like you're on the right path, if you want to feel like you have something to offer to the world. It's really important to look for small things. What is something that the world needs right now? And it can be something super small. Taking out the trash is something that needs to be done. Okay, cleaning your kitchen, whatever it may be, something small. Sending a text of appreciation to someone you love. What needs to be done? It's always in your immediate environment. There's so much things that need to be done. And I think that for us, our generation especially, it's about the big goals, finding the passion, finding what is truly important to you and your life, and you have to discover yourself and all these things. Well, it can cause a lot of anxiety, it can cause a lot of loneliness, it can cause a lot of envy and jealousy, because we're constantly comparing ourselves, especially through social media, right? Everybody is portraying their best lives. Everybody's portraying that, oh, they found their passion. But most of those people, they're not really that fulfilled, or they're not really, that happy with their lives, because they're so stressed out. They have to maintain a certain, version of themselves online. And it makes you feel very empty when you do that. I used to do that when I was younger, and it's really not nice. It's really not nice to live this inauthentic life. And that's why I made the shift to living my life authentically, and that's why I do what I do right now, right? But there's always something in your direct environment that needs to be done. So learn to pay attention to that, and make it your duty, your job, to pick up these things and to make something better in your immediate environment. Okay, be nice to a stranger, smile to the cashier, ask how their day is going. Like, it's incredible when you go to the supermarket, to the grocery store. They're like beep beep, and you ask them, hey, how are you, how is your day going? They're like, huh? Wait, what? Somebody is interested in how my day is going? Like, it's incredible the reactions you get from the people working their daily lives. Like, they're in such a trance. People are, angry at them, and they feel like nobody's paying attention to them. But if you do, you can make their day better. That's a fantastic thing. Okay, so it's not necessarily always in the big things and finding your passion and doing, what's really important. Although I think it's important to think about these things and to go for what you want. That's exactly what I said in the video 2 days ago. Go for what you want, figure out what you want and go for it. Okay, but equally it's important to look in your immediate environment and do what's necessary. Okay, do what life's calling you forth to do. Okay, because there is so much stuff that needs to be done, and you can be the driving force. You can be proactive about it, and it will pay you back. You can pay it forward and it will pay you back in the future, and it will make you feel so much more engaged with life. So this is just a small tip. If you feel like you're struggling with finding purpose or meaning, it doesn't have to be this grand vision. It can also be hidden in the small little things. Appreciation of a beautiful sunset, or a tree in a park, or anything. Okay, so we like to spend time with a melancholic person, another melancholic person. Like for introvert, it can be difficult to spend much time with extroverts. With another introvert is great. That's a great point, Wesley, and I very much agree with that. Um, because these energies, they match, and these people understand each other's moods, and that's also why I think it's great to build a community of not necessarily all melancholic people, but people who understand this mood. And I want to emphasize the fact that introverts, the highly sensitive people, HSP, there's 70% introverts and 30% extroverts, but they all share the high sensitivity traits. Okay, so it's actually really nice to mix these people together, because then you have the introverted perspective, but you have the extrovert who is kind of like connecting everyone, right? And that's how I feel is what's my role a little bit in this something. Okay, I'm a highly sensitive person. I think most of you guys are also highly sensitive people. I'm the 30% extroverted, because I love to, bring people together and talk. But, it's a nice combination, because I can bring together maybe the introverts, because I understand their sensitivity. I understand their need for downtime. I understand maybe their less outgoing nature. I understand it. Okay. But on the other hand, I can extract some of that social energy, and I can give a lot of that social energy, and that then brings people together. So that's what I believe could be a fantastic mix for the community, where there's a lot of introverted people, but there is a few extroverts who connect everyone and can start the conversations, can bring people together. And that is something that I've been thinking of. So that would be very, very nice if I could be able to make that a reality. And I actually am making the reality slowly, which is fantastic to think about. So thank you so much for that input, man. I feel super grateful that you brought this up, because I very much agree. If you find yourself in the same mental state often, or sometimes, you can relate. And that's also why I think for myself, I've gone through a lot of different experiences in my life, so I can really relate to a lot of different people, because everybody has at least had some of these experiences in their life. And relating to someone on an experiential level is, in my opinion, one of the most healing things to feel. Like to have someone truly deeply understand what you go through is very healing experience, because you feel less abnormal, you feel less alone with what you've been through. Okay, if you talk to someone who is depressed, and you've never been depressed, then it's very difficult to understand what it's like. But if you had it, then you can really understand that person's pain, that person's struggle, and that makes them feel seen. That is exactly what happened to me when I talked to people who went through what I went through. I felt seen by them, because I knew that they had similar experience, and it's a very, very powerful experience to witness that, or to feel, to feel seen and heard. So that's also what I want to do, and why I'm sharing my story, because then you can, latch onto that, and you can reach out. And that's exactly what happened, right? That's something that you did, especially, by the way. You shared your story in the comments, and I was so grateful that you did that. It brought me to tears. It literally did, because it was so relatable, and that's because I shared my story, and you were able to relate to that. So that's a very, very powerful thing, and I feel extremely grateful for that. So thanks again for sharing that story and for bringing this up. Very good points. Still working on the heartbreak thing, but I'm enjoying life way more than I was a year ago. I go out every day and smile a bunch. The pace still remains, but I try. Captain Cheesy, that's absolutely amazing. kudos to you, brother. It's something to be proud of. You're very courageous for pushing yourself to go out and not just stay inside all the time, because that is going to make you feel even more miserable, right? So the fact that you go out there, you put yourself out there, you're developing yourself, man, that is something to be really proud of. And it's absolutely normal that you feel the struggle sometimes, you still feel the pain. It's perfectly normal, because this actually means that you cared for this person. You are able to feel deeply, okay? And that is something to feel grateful for. I believe it's something that I feel incredibly grateful for. That, okay, when you want to feel deeply and connect deeply with someone, when this relationship ends, it's painful, of course, because before you were closely intertwined, and then it breaks and it's painful. That's actually a beautiful thing if you look at it from that perspective, because it means you were truly able to connect deeply, and it was not just some superficial thing. So I sometimes use this perspective to soothe my pain a little bit. I'm like, okay, it's actually something that I can feel grateful for, because it means that we were connected closely and it was meaningful. And so the pain then becomes meaningful. And what I also do is I use this pain to tap into some sense of forgiveness and gratitude and wishing them well. Whenever I feel sad because of the loss, I try to tune into, okay, I wish that person well. I hope they're doing well, because you love them, so you want things to be good for them. So tapping into that, it really helps with the healing, because once you can wish the best for them, it means that you're letting go. You no longer want to maintain the situation, no longer like holding on. You can let it go and you can let them be free, and you can be free yourself. And it's really healing experience to wish that person well. I highly recommend you try it. When you're sad or in pain, just focus on the gratitude and focus on wishing them well, and you will really feel your own feelings transform almost in real time. It's a really, really beautiful experience, so I highly recommend you try it. Yes, I know I'm not sad anymore. That's fantastic, Evelyn. I'm very happy about that. I feel grateful that you were able to process these things, to go through these feelings. And maybe in the future you might feel sad again, and that's also perfectly okay, right? You can share that pain, you can share that sadness, you can share it with loved ones, you can share it here on the channel, you can share it in the live stream. We're all here to support each other and to care for one another. So it's perfectly okay if you would feel sad again in the future at some point, or just temporarily. That's totally okay. And I'm very happy that right now you feel grateful and you feel joy. That's a fantastic thing. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's very, very beautiful to see that. It's important to get thoughts, brain, and feelings together. That is so key, Angela. That is so true. And it took me a long time. I used to be a very logical person. Okay, I have an engineering degree. I took an electrical engineering, so super logical. Physics and electronics and electricity and all these things. And I was not in tune with my feelings, with my right brain. Okay, the left brain is responsible for more like logical thinking and system thinking and processing, and then the right brain is more creative, more emotional, more feeling. And I was suppressing that part of myself, and I was very logical, very thinking, always performing in school, trying to get good grades, etc., etc. But it made me feel like empty inside at some point. And so actually my first experience with brain spotting really changed that for me. That was the first time I truly learned to tap into my feelings, my heart space, okay, my emotional body. And that is what helped me align the two, okay, because the rational thinking is really important for executing and coming up with goals and plans, and logically reasoning. It's a very, very important part, but it's equally as important to balance it out with the heart, with the feeling, with the intuition. And that's why I'm so big on intuition lately, because it's something that I suppressed, that I denied, that I undervalued. And now I came to see the real value of intuition and how powerful it is if you learn to tap into your body. There's a lot of knowledge stored in the body. What is in the body is in the brain, and what's in the brain is in the body. And I think that, the yoga practices and the mindfulness practices and moving your body through space is really, really important if you want to optimize your well-being. So that's very, very true. And I'm happy you mentioned this, because is something that I'm extremely excited about. So I feel grateful that you brought that up. And So yeah, what I wanted to say is that, for example, trauma. For example, when they take a polar bear and they put a taser on it, it's shock. It's in shock. It's a trauma for this animal, right? So it gets shocked. The taser, it's like this, and then when the working, like, it's no longer paralyzing it, the polar bear stands up, it shakes, like, it's shaking, and then it moves on like nothing happened. And that is like a natural way of processing the trauma for animals do this all the time when they are in shock. When they have a trauma, it's in the body, okay, it's locks into the body, and then they shake out the trauma and they release it, and then they go on with their life. But we as humans, we don't really do that. We get it locked up in the body, we get it locked up in the brain, and we don't process it through movement, through our emotional body. It stays locked there. So we need to, slowly untie the knots again, and process it through movement, through experiencing our emotions deeply, because otherwise it stays stuck there, and it can cause a lot of subconscious pain, subconscious melancholy. Even that's something that I discovered by not willing to by not being willing to look at the traumatic experiences that I had growing up. It stays in your body, and it triggers you in different situations. And as long as you don't heal from them, as long as you don't clean yourself, if you don't untie the knots, you will stay in these triggers, and it will cause more problems. So that's really important work to do on yourself. And it's partly discovering things with your logical brain, but equally feeling within your feeling emotional body. So thank you for bringing that up. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. So I'm glad you mentioned it. I can be here now, but I wait for the feeling lonely video. Thank you so much, Obama, for the suggestion. I will definitely upload it very soon, maybe in the coming week, and you can. I hope that you will post a comment on the video. I want you to post a comment, leave a comment, and then I can know that you watched it, and you can always give your feedback. So I hope that it will be helpful for you. I will definitely record something about this. You're not alone on this channel. That's exactly true, guys. Wow, it's so amazing that you already mentioned this yourself. Nobody is alone on this channel. Everybody is here for one another, and that is something fantastic. I want to give thanks for every one of you for actually, telling this spontaneously. It proves how amazing this group of people is, how amazing you guys are. It proves this to me, and it makes me feel so warm inside. So thank you so much for saying that, Captain Cheesy. Yes, we have more to move on, and you do. That's good, very good indeed, Evelyn. I think that we all are a little extrovert and introvert. Everything is relatively. That's a great point, Marina. And I really believe that too, right? If you put two introverts together, they become quite extroverted. They start talking, they start sharing things, right? It's about the environment that we find ourselves in. And that's also why I think that creating this community, this safe space, can allow people to experiment with themselves, to explore themselves in a safe environment where people don't judge them. That's really important, right? You don't want to feel judged. If I see that somebody is shaming someone, I have zero tolerance for that, like literally zero tolerance. If I notice someone shaming someone, immediately they get removed from the group, because it's something that I don't accept. I don't tolerate that, because it makes people protect themselves. It makes people hide themselves. That is not a good place to be in, right? So, yes, I think everybody has their own stage of extroversion and introversion. There's this thing called ambiverts, I think. Everybody wants to put names on things, but it's true, like, you don't necessarily have to put yourself into a box. However, I do think that it can also be useful to learn a little bit about your character traits or your personality, so you don't feel alone with this, right? This is something that I struggled with myself growing up. I felt so weird, like I'm so sensitive, I'm so, sad sometimes, melancholic. What is all this? Is this normal? Am I alone with this? What is this? And then I start looking online, and I find, you know diagnostics of different character traits. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a group of people that exists, and they have similar traits, and they feel the same things, and that is making me feel less alone. That is making me feel more normal. Okay. And it's an important experience to not feel extremely weird all the time. It's nice to feel different, but it's also nice to feel like you belong, right? So that is something that helped me to explore and discover these things. And of course, you don't want to get too attached to the labels. Okay, it can be something that keeps you small as well. If you believe that you're an introvert and you never explore your extroverted side or your social side, you might live in silence for a long time, or feeling socially anxious all the time, when you were actually maybe a super extroverted person if you put yourself in the right environment, right? So that is again what I want to do. I want to create that environment so you can explore that for yourself in a safe container. Okay, you can feel safe to experiment, and you know that you won't be judged by others, because they understand the courage it takes for you to step out of yourself, to step out of your comfort zone, right? So that is something that I want to create, and I hope that people will resonate with that and will want to be part of that. All right. So I know you have a lot of work and occupation, and the day is not extendable. But do you plan to do a Dimash reaction video on your other channel one of these days? I love Dimash very much. Yes. Well, like I said in the beginning, I'm going back to Belgium, so I will probably do one together with Yuri again. We can plan something, and we can create a collaboration together. So you can definitely expect something there very soon, Evelyn. So I hope that you're excited for that, and that you are looking forward to seeing us collaborate again, because like I said earlier, I want to collaborate and I don't really want to compete. Okay, guys, I think that we will call it a night. I had a fantastic time. I was so happy that everybody was here. I'm again apologizing for the technical difficulties. I think I figured it out now how to avoid the technical issues. Next week, I will really try to make it at 8. I mean, I made it at 8, but my computer didn't. So again, my apologies for that. I hope you didn't have to wait too long, but I was super happy to see you all talk already in the chat with one another, introducing each other, asking about your week, etc. So it's just lovely to see that. So I feel incredibly grateful for all of you. All right. So that's it, guys. I think that we will wrap it up for today's live stream. I feel so grateful that you were all here. I had a fantastic time, and I'm absolutely looking forward already to next week's live stream. It will be in Belgium, so I will hopefully have some nice fireplace in the background to create a lovely, cozy vibe to it. And I hope that you're all having a fantastic Sunday night. I hope that you will have a beautiful week, a beautiful start of the week. And I'm sending you lots of love, positive vibes, and energy. And Obama can definitely look forward to my video on loneliness. I will also probably record a video about my life story, because I have been thinking about recording that at home. I think it's nice to record it at home and to talk about my life from home. So that is something that I will work on. I will probably make it a 3-part series where I talk about my early childhood, my teenage years, and then my adult life. I think that a lot of you might get some value from that. So I am writing some things and to make it a little bit structured. So I hope that you guys are looking forward to that as well. You can definitely expect it here on the channel. Oh, Yorim just joined. Thank you for tuning in, brother. I was just about to wrap it up, but I feel grateful for you dropping in and leaving a comment. That's so cool. I'm looking forward to seeing you, brother. I'm coming back to Belgium tomorrow, so we can definitely link up and have a good time together when we're in Ghent, and we can go hit the gym together if you're up for it. All right. So, guys, that's it for. Oh, just wacht nog een secondje. Yuri wil nog iets zeggen. Oh, okay. So Yuri wants to say something. So I will, I will wait a few seconds until he can say what he wanted to say. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a little bit bumpy start of the night, but we got into a nice flow of consciousness. As I'm so happy to engage in here on the channel. Thank you all for everything. Evelyn, by the way, I want to again personally thank you so much for financially supporting the channel. I have no words to describe how grateful I am for you doing that. I think it's fantastic, and it's something that I would like to I would like to make the channel a donation-based channel. I would like to create a donation-based community where everyone can share as much as they want. They can support the channel as much as they want. And I really don't like this necessarily asking for money, selling stuff. It doesn't align with my spiritual values in a way. Like I much rather create so much value for all of you that you just want to keep supporting the channel, to be part of the community. I like to do this myself, okay? Like the Inspiral community that I'm part of, where I did the talk about my life, the public talk. They ask for donations, and every time I just give them money because I love to support communities like this. I think it's a great thing to be able to support on a voluntary basis. So this is ultimately the model that I want to use for this. So I'm super happy and grateful, Evelyn, that you are already showing that it's possible. Okay, I didn't ask for you to do that, and so it's incredible gifts. It's like it's so profound, and it feels so good to feel that you value my work and that you want to support the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much for doing that. I feel so grateful for it, and it makes me so excited and happy about creating even more content for all of you. Right. So that is a little bit about the financial aspect of where I want to take this channel. So donation based. So if you guys feel like you want to donate something, feel free to do so. I'm incredibly grateful if you do, and it makes me it helps me support the channel, right? Because of course I have to invest in gear and food and accommodation, etc. So I don't want to become rich. That's not what I want. I want to just be able to continue to create and build the dream. And if there is some financial support from you guys, that is just so incredibly beautiful. So I feel so grateful for you and your support. Yes, still made it. We're starting up. We'll have to meet up if you're in Belgium. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Yuri. So we'll do another collaboration when I'm in Belgium. We'll do another reaction video together. Yuri promised another Dimash reaction with you, so meetup will have to happen. Yeah, but I was already talking about this, guys. So you have to rewatch. You can rewatch the whole live stream, and you can hear me speak about doing another reaction video with Yuri. Bye, friends. See you. Hi, Marina. Thanks for the lovely company, everybody. Again, guys, I am so grateful that you were all here. Thank you so much for your attention, for the lovely vibes, the lovely energy. I feel so energized and so good about this live stream tonight. And I want to thank you all for your attention. And as always, thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next video. I will record it still here in Budapest, but the next video on Tuesday will probably be recorded back in Belgium. So you guys can look forward to that. And I am looking forward to seeing you all here next week, as I do this every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European Time. The last two live streams, there were a little bit technical difficulties, which made them a little bit later. But I will really work hard to make it happen at 8 next Sunday, and it will be from Belgium. So you guys can spend some time with me in my elderly house. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm super, super grateful. And as always, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.